Hi, Scorpio. Welcome. Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle. I hope today finds you in high spirits. Today, we're taking a look at love, life, and career future lessons in those three areas. Okay, we're going to start for you with love and see what the future holds in terms of lessons around love for you, Scorpio. Make sure you like, share, comment. I appreciate you being here. If nothing else, if you're new and you are digging the energy, it feels like it aligns, subscribe if you feel led to do so. Consider, right? And if you do, make sure you hit the bell so you'll be notified in case I go live or if I post more content, okay? Scorpio, let's take a look at love for you in terms of lessons coming through in the future. For love, for Scorpio, what lessons are coming in the future for Scorpio as it pertains to love? All right, for love, for Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, I see you. I see you. We have the Fool here, which is Gemini, Virgo energy, the Sun, which is Leo energy, and the High Priest, okay, which is actually the Hierophant. That's going to be Taurus energy. And so let's take a look. It really feels like a very light, bouncy energy. Light-hearted energy, but it feels good with the Sun here. It feels like very fulfilling connections if you're in a connection, and this could be a spiritual connection if it is not love immediately, right? It could start off as a mentoring type of connection that you'll have in the future that'll actually lead into something else. But it feels, very young. Like, so either you're with someone who's younger than you, or you're interested in someone who's younger than you, or this connection is very young. Like it hasn't been a thing for a while. It's very young in time and progression. This person that you are connecting to in the future could be someone who is very adventurous, someone who's actually a dreamer, someone who may not be very connected to reality right now, but someone who's just like looking for adventure, not really looking for anything long term, like moving a lot, very active, moving from thing to thing or moving from place to place. And it could be someone who is very attractive because they carry a lot of potential. But this person could, in fact, be open to love, right? But is not really giving off serious vibes right now. Now, if this is someone that you're in relationship with, again, it could be like newly trying out this relationship, very sociable, full of joy, bouncy, very lighthearted, like first time love. It feels like you all may be young. This may even be not even love. It could be like infatuation or obsession, not obsession, but more like just infatuated. You can't even be apart from this person long before you're thinking about them, right? And wanting to call them. Y'all can't be apart 5 minutes before you texting each other or calling. Everything seems really spontaneous, right? Like you just don't make a lot of plans possibly with this person. Y'all just kind of get together when it's convenient or spontaneously. Now, if you're actually looking for love, this could be just kind of being in a really um, idyllic energy when it comes to love. Just thinking you could possibly be giving some thought to what that looks like for you, or what it is that you want, if you want anything right now. What is possible, as it pertains to the current circumstances that you're in. In the future, you could actually meet someone who's very charming and has like childlike energy or tendencies. Um, if you are attracting someone that's married, just know that there's not a lot of long-term potential with this person. It's just a fling, right? And even if it was, like, is that really what you would want, and so the sun does bring in a lot of beautiful energy. The sun is actually energy that you're enjoying right now, as it pertains to love. And this energy could actually extend to like family and friends, children, right? I'm looking at this picture. We have children in the picture. And seeing your ideas about connection and love coming to fruition, being able to feel that and experience that. It's not an idea, but it's coming into fruition in the future for some of you. And it feels very warm, right? With the sun is very warm energy, very connected, and in touch with feelings, very fulfilling as well. If you are actually in a, connection where you're actually claiming one another, this is really being able to look forward to more prosperous and fruitful times. Things could be heading in a good way, right? You're heading on the right path that leads to happiness. And you may have put in a lot of work up until this point. Maybe you all are coming out of a difficult spot that you finally got over. Now it's looking up from here. The sun says in the future, you have success when it comes to love with your connection. And you'll be able to actually possibly return to a very peaceful state that you may have once had in the relationship, if that is you coming out of a difficult time. This may also be a time, I feel like the sun is bringing in a very youthful energy too. It's adding on to that full energy. In the future here, you may have experiences where you are able to let your inner child out. It feels like being able to dab into your youthful years. If you're older, you're going to find yourself having more energy, being more spontaneous, more lively, having more zest for life. Some of you, you've been working on your body, on yourself, and this is what's actually adding on to this very lively energy that you'll be experiencing in your relationship. You're able to experience the success of the work that you've put in, is what the sun says. Yeah. For some of you, that means that you may have had some sickness that you're getting over, and now you're experiencing health again. And you're really not taking it for granted now. And so you're making every effort to enjoy your body, to enjoy the sunshine, to enjoy your family, right? To enjoy life in every aspect of what it is. I think that's beautiful, Scorpio. That's beautiful. And so this may also be your family realizing that they have this time that's been given, and not taking it for granted. It just feels very warm and comforting, and it feels good, right? And so for those of you that may be looking for relationships, it's maybe the start of something new coming your way. If you've been waiting for that, this is the announcement that that opportunity is coming and you'll be starting something new, a new connection. This person that you're connected to may have children. You may have children that'll be a part of this new connection that you'll experience. You may be being invited to certain types of functions that's going to provide this opportunity to meet people. And that's going to keep you kind of, lifted up in high spirits with the sun. The sun feels really good. And so I feel like that's good news coming, in the future. Good timing too. The high priest, which is actually the Hierophant for some of you, there is marriage in the future. The high priestess actually does represent the energy of marriage. It has the potential of long-term commitment. Okay. If you're in a relationship, this could mean you may be about to be asked the question. Someone's thinking about deepening the relationship with you here in the future. The high priestess actually has a level of spiritual backing. It's high nobility. It's high integrity. This is somebody that wants to do right by you, Scorpio. And they not going to play with your feelings, okay? They're going to do right by you. The high priest is really good energy. It's someone with a very high level of integrity. And probably someone who has a high standing amongst his peers and in communities. And so if you are already with this person and you're not yet married, it's headed that way in the future. This person may be proposing to you. And this is also possibly someone who is very connected with their spiritual source, with their creator, whatever that is for them. There's some level of connection. It doesn't have to be religious. It could be spiritual. There's just some connection with the creator, however that looks for that person. This feels like someone who would actually be like, in priest energy, or someone who is committed or obligated to their higher power. There's a level of deep spirituality here. And so that is part of why this person makes such a good mate for you, because they're not going to play with your heart. Okay? They're not going to do it. So this person maybe, if you're in relationship with this person is actually ready to actually move forward to the next level. Okay? For some of you, you may already be married to this person. This foretells of a deepening of your relationship, and with the creator in the center as the initiative and the motivation to sustain this relationship. It feels very spiritual. If you are actually not in a relationship right now, this could be someone that is approaching you in the future, someone that you will run into in the future. This could be someone that's older, who you have a lot of respect for. This person may not only align with your love interests, this may also be a teacher, someone who has taught you things, or who will be kind of like a mentor of sorts that will actually turn into this kind of relationship, okay? That actually turns into something very serious. Now, I also have the star here, okay? And the star is Aquarius energy. And it feels very beautiful. I love the star. The star, when it comes to love, we're talking about being inspired or being guided or led in some type of way towards love. This is coming in as a challenge for you, Scorpio. And so I feel like there could be challenges around believing. For those of you that may be waiting for love, you may not have a lot of faith right now in, having someone like this come towards you. It's like, really, I could just hear somebody saying, for real, right? So there may not be a lot of faith that this is possible. For some of you that are currently in a relationship, this could be not really feeling the connection right now, because the star really is a energy that shows this combined energy between you two that's working. And so if it's a challenge right now, the star possibly is not really seeing this working. Either that, or you're not connected to see how you're being guided to make this work. That could mean disconnection in that way, and not really getting the cues on how you can actually build on this energy that's needed to make the relationship what you want. And I'm also feeling like this could be a time of, separation. It almost feels like there could be possibly energies of not being able to trust or not reciprocating to build that, that energy. And so there could be just like little things that's being missed, like little cues that spirit is sending you. If you're in a relationship, right, you're missing some things, some guidance, tips, or there could be some wisdom that you haven't received yet. But it'll come, it'll come with time and with growth and with experience. It'll come. I feel like there's like some things that are being missed for some of you. It almost feels like being too young for this type of relationship, but that doesn't mean it's not going to work. Sometimes you just grow together and you learn together. You make mistakes together. You mature together, right? If you're a very young couple, for those of you that might be looking for love, this could, like I said, be you doubting the fact that it's still possible. Doubting that, you're able to actually attain this level of connection with anyone. Yeah. And it could be you not interested at all. It's like, oh, that sounds good, but I don't have the energy for it. I don't have the time, right? You may, be dealing with some things, where you're trying to build yourself up, and you just don't feel like pouring the energy anywhere else other than within yourself. Some of you may be so heavenly consumed, right, that it's hard to find you, down here and worthy of, connecting with. You're always up in the clouds, in the stars, right? Always in the ethers somewhere, and so that could be it too. And yeah, and you may just be someone that don't want to commit to love. That's okay too. It's all up to you. It's your choice. But I do see the Tower and the outcome. So there could be some level of expectation or plans that may not actually turn out, the way that they are desired or hoped. The Tower isn't always bad, right? It just says that there are some things to overcome. There are some things that need course correction along the way. Sometimes it means an ending to something, but there's always a beginning for something else. So however that comes in the future, it does foretell a little bit of trouble, a little bit of shaking things up. And you know what happens when things get shook up? Everything that's not on a solid foundation gets knocked out, okay? Which is good, because when it comes to relationships and talking about spending the rest of your life with someone, you want it to be solid. And if there's anything that's not, you want to deal with that stuff up front. You don't want that to fester and to grow and to be, in the shadows of the relationship for 20, 30 years. You don't want that. And so that really is, something that you want to get out of the way early on, right? Tower moments come in to clear the plate of anything that's not truth. Okay? So a little bit of trouble coming here in the future, but let's see what happens, through that, what gets revealed. And through the revealing of those things, it lets us know what we need to work on or what we need to let go. Either way, it's meant to land you in a more solid, secure, stable place, okay? That's for love, Scorpio. In the future, okay? Very beautiful energy. There's also some lessons coming. Let's take a look at the lessons coming as it pertains to life in general in the future, okay? Future lessons around life in general. Future lessons around life in general. Future lessons in life in general for Scorpio. What lessons will Scorpio be learning in the future here, Spirit? Please and thank you. Lessons for Scorpio in the future. Lessons for Scorpio in the future. Ooh, Scorpio. Okay. We have anomaly, communication. The Spirit is telling me to get one more, resistance, and I'm going to just pull the one off the top. And fear. Okay. All right. And so, Scorpio, with anomaly and a communication, I feel like there's going to be a lesson around something that Spirit is going to guide you to call out. To call it out exactly how you see it and don't stutter. There's going to be lessons about communicating honestly and truthfully what it is that you are seeing. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't try to smooth it over. I feel like there's going to be lessons about the power of your voice, right? And with fear here and resistance, many times we don't like to speak what it is that we're really hearing because we might be a little intimidated by what will happen as a result. But the difference is when you're being guided to speak as opposed to, right? It's all about intention. And so if you're being guided to say something, understand that there's someone on the other end of that message that needs to hear what you have to say, right? Or what Spirit is saying. And so I feel like there's something that is going to be plain as day. Even if everybody don't see it, you may be the only one that see it with anomaly here, but it's going to be something just totally undeniable, right? as we look at this card, what is hidden about this bird? Nothing, not a dang thing. It's out in the open for everybody to see, and it's different than everybody else. And so it sticks out like a sore thumb. There's nothing hidden about this. So there's no denying it. What you're being guided to say, these lessons about what you're being guided to communicate, people already know it. Like when we speak these messages, it's just confirmation because people already know. Sometimes it just needs to be said sometimes. It's like the elephant in the room. I feel like there's lessons coming around not only seeing things for what they are, but communicating them, right? Someone may be liberated by your communication, your authenticity, right? Someone may be shaken up and, freed from something. We don't know. We just follow, the leading, but it's being shown to you for a reason. And so I feel like there's some lessons around communicating authentically without fear, without, fear of retaliation and however you want to put that. But there's some level of communication too, lessons around that. Also being able to speak what needs to be said, speak your needs. There may be lessons around being able to speak things into existence or just speak it out. Somebody may hear what you have to say and move on it. It's being able to communicate, lessons around communication. There may be some changes to the way Spirit is calling you to communicate, right, in the future here. I'm trying to pick this stuff out of my hair. I failed today. I was at work and your girl done rolled over, right? You ever have one of them slow falls and you just you see yourself falling, but ain't nothing you can do. So all you got to do is just roll with it. I had one of those falls today in the sawdust. And so I got up and I had all kind of sawdust in my hair. It was a mess, but it was funny too because it wasn't a hard fall, like I hit the ground hard. I just kind of rolled into the sawdust. And what was funny was because I had a Starbucks drink. The Starbucks drink did not fall. It didn't spill, not a drop, right? So I'm sitting here rolling, but I managed to keep the Starbucks cup upright where I didn't drop none of the liquid, right? Not lifting my foot up far enough to lift up onto the curb. But anywho, back to what I was saying about communicating, there could be changes, lessons around communication. Your communication could be changing in the future here. You could be communicating and stepping out, communicating more boldly in the future. So some level of communication that's possibly changing here. Spirit is asking you to be a little bit more bold and assertive. And don't be afraid to communicate what you want and what you need. Also, I do feel like in the future here, there's going to be some lessons around maintaining in the face of adversity. There could be things in the future that tempt to slow you down. But because you're skilled at what you do and because you are confident, because you are very equipped and able to handle it, like there's going to be lessons that prove to you your strength here in the future. There's possibly going to be some things that happen that feels like it's like a obstacle against you, but in the midst of that challenge, you're going to stand and continue to move forward against that current, right? And it's going to actually reveal some part of your strength to you. It's going to reveal to you how resilient you are. There's some lessons around your resilience that's going to be revealed to you in the future here. what would possibly slow other people down is not going to slow you down. You're going to keep plummeting right on through it, right? Yeah. And then with fear, this feels like actually doing something. As you can see, this is one of my favorite cards, by the way. This bird standing on the scarecrow's head, right? What is the purpose of the scarecrow? It's to scare the birds away. While all the other birds is too scared back there on the line just watching, right? You're going to be the bird to actually be daring and go touch the little stick just to prove that it's not real. And though you've come to that realization and you've overcome your fear, you stand in a place where everybody's watching you and you're looking like the star of the day, right? You have actually found out something that everybody else doesn't know because they were unwilling to take the risk that you've taken. This is actually going to place you in, it's going to set you apart from the crowd. You being bold and taking a risk in the future is going to set you apart from the crowd. And it's going to afford you opportunities that not everybody has because they are not willing to overcome the fear that you were, right? So there's something that you're going to step out and do. This may be something that has been considered dangerous, or not dangerous, because I'm not saying you're going to go out and do something that's going to risk you losing your life, but there's something that is something that's intimidating to people in general, and you're going to be like, well, what? Okay, I'm just going to do it. What? See, it ain't nothing. What are you guys afraid of? Right? And so there's some level of fear that you will be overcoming and demonstrating to everybody. And that's going to actually set you apart. Possibly even in a league of your own, right? And so there's going to be future lessons about not succumbing to the fear of the group or of the crowd or of society. Like whatever these birds in the back represent, you'll be stepping out of that and believing and trusting yourself, right? And it's going to afford you opportunities, even if it's just mentally, right? You're going to be able to go where people are not, because there's an understanding that you have, because you were able to conquer this fear and find out the truth of the situation. And so this is good energy. I like it. It feels like a level up for you, Scorpio. It feels like a level up. Those lessons are actually going to be it feels like very powerful lessons that's going to position you for growth and expansion, okay? Let's take a look at the lessons coming in around your career, okay? Around career, what lessons are coming towards Scorpio in the future around career? Around career for Scorpio. All right. For career, what future lessons are waiting for Scorpio in terms of career? What are the future lessons waiting for Scorpio in the future in terms of career? So it's interesting that the King of Swords comes out. We were just talking about speaking truth. Speaking truth. The King of Swords is actually Gemini energy. The world is Saturn energy, Saturnian energy. The Four of Cups is Cancer energy, and the Temperance is Sagittarius energy. And so with the King of Cups, I feel like this is actually lessons around, it could be speaking, right? It could be truth, being able to rightly divide truth, and actually using that in a way even to serve you in your career. And this could also be lessons around discipline, right? Around being disciplined and being really straight and, very strategic when it comes to your disciplined way of thinking, holding yourself to your convictions, and actually being able to judge very rightly, sharply as well, having a very critical, learning to think critically too in terms of business. And so it feels like you could be someone that people would end up coming to get some level of advice, because there's some level of demonstration that you have, that you know what you're doing, and that you have some type of process or strategy that's working. And so they're going to come to you for some level of advice, possibly. And so you're mastering this energy is possibly going to serve you. If you've already mastered it, this is going to serve you in the future here. I also have the World. There's some level of energy or lessons coming in around completing and releasing and moving forward to the next step. I don't know if this is like feeling comfortable and not really wanting to, step up the game. This may be lessons that, cause growth here in the future. This could also be lessons about willing to get outside of your comfort zone. The World is universal exposure, right? And it's really taking the next step. There's some level of possible transformation happening that's going to cause you to make decisions to grow. The World could talk about travel too, or it could talk about like worldwide exposure. Either or. There could be lessons around not accepting less than you feel like you're worthy of. The Four of Cups talks about being a little bit selfish, a little bit sure, right? As you can see, she has 3 cups in front of her, but it almost feels like she could be waiting on something else, right? Being a little bit assertive with what it is that you desire. I can't help but think back of the life lessons about communicating what you need, what you want, and not being, shy about that, but speaking up, using your voice. And so this feels like something that you are desiring. And Spirit is definitely possibly allowing you opportunities to understand what you're worth, like, and not feeling like you have to take anything less. Like, if you're willing to wait and continue to work, yeah, you can have that big cup. You can have exactly what you feel like you would fulfill you, right? She is totally unmoved, right? It's like, yeah, those are nice, but I'm waiting on something else. Like, I have a special order. Okay? I got a special order, right? Those are just average orders that they make by the bulk, right? But my order is different. So it's going to take a little bit more time, and I'm going to wait for it. It feels like that. And there may be lessons around balance as well with temperance here. There may be lessons around not sitting still, waiting on things to work out. But as you can see, temperance is actually measuring. Temperance is working, right? Not just standing there. There is a focus on being balanced, but there's a work that's happening here. There's an alchemy that's happening here. There's work. There's measuring. There's experiments, right? And so this may be lessons around working the work as you are staying balanced and doing dealing with all these other life lessons, still working and staying balanced and, staying afloat, doing what you've been called to do, right? Being patient until things come around for you, and, keeping your hands busy, staying aligned with your chakras and not feeling pressured. One of the other things that's standing out here is the two paths on either side of temperance, right? They both look very alluring, right? Very exciting, but temperance is unmoved because I believe temperance understands where temperance is supposed to be. And so temperance is right there, staying balanced, right? Unmoved by the excitement of these offers of different paths. But temperance is focused on doing what has been given and focused on temperance's mission of bringing balance and creating solutions too. And so there could be lessons around that too, understanding what's for you, right? Ain't nothing wrong with that. When you know what's for you, you can't be led off of your path or led onto a wild goose chase because you know what's for you and you stand balanced right in that, doing your work. So there could be lessons coming in around that as well. For some of you, there could be lessons around understanding how protected you are. Temperance also represents Archangel Michael, and so there could be protection coming in around your finances, around some of the things that you are sowing into and investing in, and manifesting for yourself. The Ten of Pentacles is coming in as a challenge. And so there could be some challenges around, balance and having a level of long-term success, keeping the momentum going. And whatever that is that you're working on, it could be challenging, just keeping it going, to a point to where it's just, you don't really have to keep cranking the wheel, and so there could be some challenges around that. But I do feel like my Archangel Michael is here protecting any cankerworms that try to come in and devour what it is that you're growing. I feel like there could be, protection with whatever it is that you're investing in and working on and trying to build, right? It seems like there's a little bit of challenge in that area. And so, let's see. There's something being learned through the process, though, right now. Even though there are challenges around that, the Ten of Pentacles, there's something being learned. And I find it very interesting that the King of Swords came out as one of the working energies. One of the working energies that you'll learn lessons around when it's all said and done. You'll also be learning lessons around the feminine aspect of that energy. Right? And so again, balance. And so I could be speaking to Scorpios that are very heavy in masculine energy when it comes to this Swords energy around work. Swords energy is really mental. You may do a lot of your work mentally, manifesting and thinking energy, right? And there may be balance coming in, lessons around balancing the feminine and the masculine. You may need to balance out a little bit more of the feminine energy here. Now, the feminine part of the sword suit, when we're talking about the queen, the king holds truth and speaks, is very control, disciplined, and authoritative energy, very strategic in thought and judgment. Now, the queen is actually very reliable, very self-sufficient. She's perceptive, right? The queens carry water energy, and so there's a level of perception that she carries, very strong-willed, a little bit witty, like very quick to respond and to tap back, very quick, very witty, and she's very head over heart. She doesn't get thrown away by emotions. And then very honest as well, like the King of Swords. But, there's a level of perception mixed with that. And so I feel like there's some balance coming in here with some lessons around balance, right? With how you're doing this working, right? I feel like for whoever you are, you're very mentally strong. A lot of your work happens in, the spirit realm. And so there may be some lessons coming in around balancing that, especially with the temperance coming out. And that may in fact be what's needed to bring those manifestations. This is on the bottom, to life. And the Page of Wands, we're talking about bringing those creations and those manifestations into fruition, okay? And so there's some lessons around balance. I feel that very strongly. And not compromising what it is that you want, right? Being willing to wait for it and continue working for it. If you've tried things that didn't quite turn out exactly how you had envisioned, listen, that's what the temperance is doing. We can call the temperance actually like a chemist, because chemists will spend a whole day in the lab, experimenting until they come up with the antidote or till they come up with the right mixture, right? And so that may be, around the lessons that you are being given in the future here, is working the work, right? Coming up with the solutions and the answers, coming up with the breakthroughs for the manifestations that you're working on, right? Finding out exactly how to break through that next level. That next big break, right? And so that's what I feel for you, Scorpio. It's very deep level of thinking energy, very intuitive energy, very disciplined energy. You could be someone who has a routine down and you stick to it. It's very important to have things in order and to have a level of expectancy, And so, yeah, that's what I see for you in the future around lessons coming in. And so thank you so much for your time, Scorpios. And what energies do we have here? We have the Queen of Swords, which is Aquarius, with the King of Swords, which is Gemini, Sagittarius, Cancer, Saturnian energy, and the 10 of Pentacles. And to speak a little bit to that fixed Saturnian energy with the world, that could talk about energies that are, we have 50 minutes for Scorpio. That could talk about energies that come in to make sure that we're actually following protocol. Like Saturnian energy comes in and feels very restrictive. It's like the taskmaster, the drill sergeant. It's the the person in charge of making sure policies and procedures are in place, right? So that things can operate and function properly. And so what feels like restriction is really like a training to take us to the next level. It's foundational, training that we're not going to have time to deal with once we get to this higher level of operation. So we got to pound this in so it's solid. It's that kind of energy. It feels restrictive, but we're so thankful that we got the teaching and the learning around that at this foundational level, right? Because it would be destructive if that was a problem once we get to into the lucrative parts of what it is that we're doing. And so that's what I have for you, Scorpio. Thank you for stopping by. It has been a pleasure reading for you. Blood Moon Oracle is the name of this page. And if you like this video, I'm going to post one up here. Check that one out. You may like that one as well. Also, if you're new, I'm going to put a little subscribing button here. Make sure you subscribe. If you feel the vibe on the page, if there's something that you've received here today, like, share, comment. It's an exchange of energy. I appreciate you stopping by. Until next time, it was a pleasure, as always, reading for you, Scorpio. Take care of yourself, and I will see you very soon, I'm sure. All right. Bye.